Hello, and welcome to Julia Programming with a Data Scientist. My name is Dr. Randy Davila, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get set up so that you can follow all the other videos that I'll be posting on this channel. In particular, I'm going to show you how to install Julia, the latest version of Julia, install it so that it will be compatible with Jupyter notebooks, and then also show you how to install Pluto.jl, the Pluto IDE package. So first things first, we need to go to Anaconda. And this is what I suggest all my students do when I teach my programming related courses. Go to anaconda.org, or not, it should be .com, anaconda.com. Yeah, that's what it is. And then once you're here, just go up here, individual edition, and install Anaconda. So when you install Anaconda on your machine, you will have the latest version of Python installed, as well as a suite of IDEs. So if I click here, that's the Anaconda that I have installed on my computer. Takes a second to open. And you'll see that I have a whole list of ways to interact with various programming languages, Python and R. But this is all about Julia. It's been my experience in the past that when installing Julia, especially with the Jupyter notebooks, it helps to first install the Anaconda Navigator. Even though it's primarily based with Python and R, you'll see how Julia interacts with Anaconda in a few minutes. Okay, so Anaconda is installed. Currently, on this machine, I only have Julia version 1.0. And I'm going to install the newest version. So I go to julialang.org, download. I am running an M1 processor on my Mac, so this is the installer that I'm going to need. You should always do the current stable release. Click right there. Oh, I hope this doesn't take too long. So while we're waiting, I'd like to point out this. So almost everyone should download the latest stable release of Julia. These things are maintained and very reliable. So even though it's not the long-term support release, it is the latest stable release, and that's the one you should be using. All right, so it looks like it finished. So I'm going to open this up. All right, so now I have version 1.7, and I'm just going to drag that over here to my applications folder, put it in there. All right, so it should be installed. So if I in my launch pad, I'll see Julia 1.7 right here. I'm going to go ahead and put that in my dock because I'll be using it. Okay. So next up, I'm going to open it up. So this is called the Julia REPL, R-E-P-L. So, and it's a way of interacting with Julia at the most basic level. So for example, if I want to print something, this is the Julia REPL. And I press enter. I see that it prints out to me that this is the REPL. I can do things like 1 + 1. I can pretty much do any common tasks that you might encounter in Julia using the REPL, and it's pretty fun to play with. For example, if I want to define like a function, like f of x equals to x squared plus 1, f of 4, press enter. And you can see that it's really simple to work with. Okay, so next up, I'd like to get you set up. Well, actually, before I get you set up with the IDEs I want you to see, I want to say a few more things about the REPL. The REPL has a few modes. So this is the Julian mode, I would call it. It's just for these simple calculations like this. But suppose you need like information about a function. Like I know that length is a function in Julia. So I can find out information about length by typing a question mark, and now I'm in help mode. So now that I'm in help mode, and if I want to know more about length, I just type out length, press enter, and it gives me a description of how the function length works, right? So that can be really useful when you need more information and you don't feel like going online to read about what you're working with. Okay, next up, the shell mode. So as you can see, the REPL has opened up in this screen here with a little blinking cursor. This is my computer's terminal. And I can access the shell commands of my terminal by pressing a semicolon and entering into shell. So if you're familiar with shell commands, like if I want to look at the files in my current working directory, I can do ls like that. And I see that all of my folders in this directory appear. If I want to navigate to my documents folder, I can do current directory documents. Now I'm there, and now I'm inside that folder. But again, if you're not familiar with your terminal commands, it's not a problem. You won't be needing those very much in any of the videos I'll be doing. So to exit out of shell mode, I just press delete, and then I'm out of it. So we have the help mode, the shell mode, and then next up we have the package mode. So the right bracket, so that symbol right there, if you press that bracket, you automatically go into the package mode. So this is where you can add all of the necessary packages that you might need to your current version of Julia. So for example, I like plotting things. So I'd like to do add plots. Okay, so this is going to add the plots package to this version that I have of Julia, version 1.7. Okay, and this is a really nice way to install packages. Okay. Might take a second every once in a while, especially for these larger packages, but that's okay. All right, so hopefully this doesn't take too much longer. Let's see. All right, come on. Might have to fast forward this in the editing of the video, but as you can see, it's doing a lot of stuff. It's adding all the dependency packages and everything needed to plot data. Okay, so while this is installing the plots.jl package, I'm going to go back to Anaconda, and I'm going to open up Jupyter Notebooks. So when I open this up, I see that I'm in my current root directory, my root folder on my computer. If I go to like documents or something, and I don't know, maybe I want to make like a new folder in here. Folder right here. I can rename that by clicking on this tab, rename Julia folder. There it is. I can go in there. And then if I wanted to open a Jupyter notebook, I could go over here to new, and I have this list of kernels to use to open my notebook with. And the kernel basically determines what programming package you'll be using, what programming language you'll be using. So I see I have R in Python version 3, and then Julia version 1.05. And as I mentioned earlier, that was the version that I had before I downloaded Julia 1.7 or whatever it was, right? So how do I get version 1.7 to appear in here? Well, I need to add I, Julia. So capital I, capital J, like that. Press enter. And I see that it's done. So typically when you do that, you might have to, for example, I'm going to quit this out. And then try opening up Jupyter again. And let's just see if I have access to it. There it is right there. So now after I restarted my Jupyter Notebook session, I have access to the Julia 1.7 kernel. So if I go into my Julia folder, I can open it up and I see that I have Julia version 1.7 here. Okay. Now, this might not work for everyone the first time you do it. So if you don't see your kernel appear after adding iJulia, you should probably build it. So build iJulia. And then after building it, it's been my experience in the past that you'll always be able to see the Julia kernel there. Okay. Okay. So next up, I need to show you how to work with Pluto notebooks. So this is another way that I show you content on my channel is with the Pluto IDE. So I need to add that. So add Pluto. Notice I'm still in the package mode. All right. Now, to open Pluto notebooks, I need to go back into the normal Julian mode in the REPL by pressing delete. And now I'm back in normal mode. And I just do add Pluto. Oh, not add, what am I doing? Using Pluto. So this is the package I'll be using. And then type Pluto dot run like this. Press enter. And now we see that we have opened up the Pluto interface. We have sample notebooks we can go through. For example, all of these here, right? But I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna create a new notebook. All right, and we see that we have a Pluto notebook here, just like I show in my videos. And if you would like to save these notebooks, just click up here, press down to go to whatever folder that you want to save it in. Maybe I want to go to documents. And then I'll call this test Pluto.jl. So now if I go to my documents, somewhere in here should be a test Pluto.jl file. All right. Because I installed, or because this time of year it's winter, there's snowflakes in the background. Just notice that here, there's a hidden cell that you can comment out that, or just delete that whole cell so it's not snowing everywhere. All right. So that'll be it for this short video. Hopefully this has kind of, will get everyone that's watching my videos in a place where they can follow along with what I'm doing. In my next videos, I plan on giving tutorials on how to use Pluto and how to use Jupyter using the Julia programming language. Thank you for watching. If you've liked it, please like and/or subscribe below, and I'll see you next time.